Hello everyone, welcome to the DPB podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Mondis with DisneyPinsBug.com, the latest news on Disney pin trading and collecting from around the world. This is episode number 164 for the week of April 8th, 2019.
Welcome to the Disney Pins blog podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Hope you guys had a great weekend. We have a ton of pin news to cover today. So let's just jump right into it. First, I'm going to start off with housekeeping. It is just myself today for episode 164. And I want to mention that we will not have an episode next week because I'm going to be traveling at the end of this week for Star Wars Celebration in Chicago. I'm heading out there to cover that event. Very excited about it. We will still have lots of coverage on the website and, of course, YouTube channel and social. Just no podcast next week. Won't have enough time due to traveling. And also, I know I'm getting tons of questions on the Disney Fairy Tales event. I thought we were going to see something last week, an announcement, maybe the pin catalog or the registration date. But as of the time I'm recording this, nothing has been announced yet. We do have a couple more details if you guys want to check out the blog post. We have like the Furry Friends admission price and what's included with that. But as far as the actual registration date goes and the pin catalog, I don't think we're going to be seeing that until hopefully this week. So the week of April 8th, I'm hoping we see something. All right, let's jump right into the pin news. First, we're going to start off with Disney Store. They had a couple of exciting pin set releases. The first one features Mickey and Minnie on avocado. So there's a little Mickey icon and a Minnie Mouse icon on an avocado, and the backer card is really cool. It's a piece of toast. So that's the avocado toast Disney pin set. Retail price for those two little pins is $9.95, and that was spotted at Disney Store retail locations. As of right now, it's not available online yet, but hopefully coming to shopdisney.com. And then there was another food-themed pin set at Disney Store. This one features little donuts. So you have Mickey and Minnie. There are 3 different donuts here. Minnie has pink frosting on hers, and then there are 2 Mickey-themed donuts. One with a blue frosting, and then the other with a chocolate frosting. And this one comes on a pretty cool backer card as well. It's like a little coffee mug. And the retail price for those 3 pins is $12.95. And then finally at Disney Store, this isn't a new pin, but it is appearing right now at Disney Store retail locations across America. It is the Walt Disney Studios pin. So this first released way back in February of last year, 2018, actually at Disney Store UK. It was an online release there, and it says the Walt Disney Studios on the water tower in the background, and then you have Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, Donald, and Goofy on the front. And I also heard this was also released out at Burbank a couple years ago. So just kind of like a refresher, and now it's appearing at retail locations like you find in your mall. So that's pretty cool. Someone sent us a photo of that pin, and we did a blog post on that. All right, next we're going to head over to BoxLunch. They have a few new pin releases. We're just going to talk about one today because I didn't get the other ones up yet on the website, but they are coming very soon. The first one we're going to talk about here is the Maleficent Dragon BoxLunch Disney pin set. This is a really nice one. It comes on that Disney Villains backer card, the black one. And then you have 2 pins, one of Maleficent and then one of the Dragon. Retail price for that pin set is $12.90, and it is available online. Next, we had a new pin set release for the HotArt LE200 lanyard trading pins. We did a blog post on this in a separate video on the YouTube channel, but if you're just listening to the podcast, I'll mention it once again. This is the Friends Forever pin set. There are 4 in this series. You have Belle, Rapunzel, Snow White kissing Dopey, and Stitch. And we posted those. This was a pretty popular release, as Snow White is almost sold out. So if you guys want to get your hands on one of those pins, they are available right now at dpbstore.com. They are a limited edition of 200 with the retail price of $22. All right, now let's head overseas. Our first stop is Disneyland Paris because the April calendar came out. There are a lot of exciting ones this month. We have a few featuring Aladdin, lots of Mickey and Minnie pins. There were 2 LE250 pin releases this past weekend. Featuring Cinderella and Lumiere. There are a couple Easter pins coming out, a few Up pins because the anniversary is coming very soon, and then a beautiful Cinderella collection later in the month. So lots of nice pins there. Their next pin trading night is April 26th at the Disney's Hotel Cayenne. Next, we're going to head over to Hong Kong Disneyland. They had lots of exciting pin releases this past weekend. They had their second annual Pin Trading Carnival event. And this is a pretty big event. I saw lots of the pin releases out there, a lot of really, really nice ones. This reminds me of our annual pin events at Epcot, where it's just like in a big convention. There's games, exclusive pin releases, and lots of pin trading. I would love to get out there for next year's, because it seems like a really exciting time. And they also previewed some of the upcoming limited edition pins coming to Hong Kong Disneyland. We have a blog post up at DisneyPinsBlog.com. You can see there's a big hot air balloon collection and just so many different pins. You got Duffy Bear and Shelly May, or Wreck-It Ralph, Slinky Dog, Baymax, and there were just tons of pin releases at that event. It was held April 4th through the 7th at Hong Kong Disneyland. Next, there was a recent release called Ice Cream Fantasy. These are open edition pins. We covered a few of them from this set. There's a Mickey pin, a Minnie Mouse, a Donald Duck, and then there was a booster pack as well. I think there were a couple other characters as well, but we just didn't get a photo of those. And then finally last week, there were a few pin releases at Hong Kong Disneyland for their new attraction, Ant-Man and the Wasp Nano Battle. There was a grand opening pin, which was limited edition of 800, and then a Magic Access exclusive pin, which was limited edition of 600, all featuring the attraction logo. And then there were also 2 open edition pins that came out that actually glow in the dark. So those are pretty nice looking. All right, now let's head over to Japan. We're going to stop at Disney Store Japan because they had a new online release featuring Winnie the Pooh. We called this one Fresh Lemons. It is a very colorful pin. You have Pooh Bear all in white, and then he's just kind of creeping behind some lemons. And there's lemons in the background. It looks like a very summery, bright pin. The backer card looks nice on it as well, with those white and yellow colors. And it just says Winnie the Pooh. The retail price for that one was 756 yen. All right, let's head back to the States and stop at Disney Studio Store Hollywood in California. They have a pin release this week, and it features the character blocks. This pin set is on April 13th, 2019 at 6:30 a.m., and it features 6 different pins. You have the Aristocats, Tangled, Hercules, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Pocahontas, and Princess and the Frog. All of those are limited edition of 400 with a retail price of $21.95. We also have a few WDI pin releases this week. That's at Mickey's of Glendale in California. These are exclusive for cast members. The first pins feature Home on the Range 15th anniversary. There is a film strip pin, which is LE250 with a retail price of $24.95. And then there's a little logo pin with characters from the film. It is just the Home on the Range 15th anniversary pin. That one has a retail price of $29.95, and it is just LE200. And then there are 4 pin releases for Easter 2019. One's featuring Thumper, you have Miss Bunny, White Rabbit, and March Hare. All of those are limited edition of $250 with a retail price of $22.95. Available on Monday, April 8th, 2019 at Mickey's of Glendale. Alright, now let's head over to Disney parks. If you're at Walt Disney World this past weekend, you probably saw there was a big race going on. It was the Star Wars half marathon weekend, and there were a ton of pin releases. We have them all up at DisneyPinsBlog.com. But in case you missed any, there were releases for the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, and the Rival Run Challenge. Lots of different pin releases there, commemorative ones, replica race medal pins, and these cool hinge pins. All of those are limited release. Also, a recent release at Disney Parks is the Alice in Wonderland pin set. This was spotted a month or 2 ago, I think, at Disneyland, and then it sold out, but it is back in stock. Corey was actually out there last week, and he was able to pick up the set. It should be coming to Walt Disney World soon in Florida. It might already be there, but we did the blog post for it. This was on preview actually last year at the Animation Celebration event. It features 5 different pins. You have Cheshire Cat, White Rabbit, Alice, Mad Hatter, and the March Hare. 5 different pins there for a retail price of $24.99. Alright, and now for the new pin releases this week. Let's see what's cooking up here at Disney Parks. We got a few exciting pin releases. First, we're going to start off with Disneyland. They have their Fine and Dandy pin. This, of course, is for Dapper Day, Spring 2019, and it features Mary Poppins with the penguins. That's a limited edition of 3,500, and that's available this Thursday, April 11th. And then that will be available, I think, in a week or 2 at Walt Disney World whenever Dapper Day comes there. Next, we'll head over to Walt Disney World. They have their next iHeart Gaming pin release, and this is the staggered release. It switches between Disneyland and Walt Disney World. This month, April, it is in Florida, and it is the 4th pin in this series featuring a Goofy movie. Limited edition of 2,500, retail price is $17.99, and that'll be available exclusively in Walt Disney World this Thursday, April 11th. And then for the shared pin releases this week on both coasts, we just have one. It is the next Kingdom Consoles pin. This one featuring Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. That's going to be a popular one. Limited edition of 4,000 with a retail price of $17.99. And again, available this Thursday, April 11th. Whew. All right, so that's going to do it for the pin news this week. Now let's head into Disney Pin Chat. So I figured for Disney Pin Chat this week, we could talk about the pin trading night that is coming up. It was just announced this last week for the May 2019 event. Just want to go over the details of that because I still feel like there's a lot of new people in the hobby because I'm still getting questions on what a random selection process is and how to attend these events, where to sign up. So just going to give a rundown real quick with the details for the Disneyland and Walt Disney World versions of this event. And they are on the same day. Back in February, they were staggered a week apart, but for May, they're both on May 16th, 2019. The Disneyland one is $20, and it is at Star Wars Launch Bay in Tomorrowland from 7 to 11 p.m. And then the Walt Disney World version is May 16th as well, but it's from 5 to 9 at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort in Ballroom H. And the admission price for Florida is $15, so $5 cheaper in Florida, but it's pretty much the same event on both coasts. The Disneyland one always sells out super fast though. I didn't even announce it. I knew it was happening, but I was waiting because our blog post, I always like to have both Disneyland and Walt Disney World in it, just so it's all in one location. So I was like anticipating the Florida link to come out at the same time, but Disneyland came out first. I had the blog post ready to go, and it ended up selling out within an hour, the West Coast version. So I apologize that I didn't post that because I know a lot of people were emailing me and messaging me saying that I was late to post, but I had it ready. I was just waiting for Florida's link to become available. I ended up posting anyways a couple hours later just because there was a delay on Disney's end with Walt Disney World's link, but the Walt Disney World link ended up going live the next day on Friday, which was last Friday. So I still think registration is available for Florida. I registered myself. I will be there again. I always love pin trading at the quarterly events. They're so much fun. And this one features the Up 10th Anniversary Pin Release. Very exciting. I can't wait to see these pins again. I did see a preview of them at the last pin trading night, and they look gorgeous. We got the blog post up with all of the actual photos, which I know a lot of you guys were thankful for, seeing the actual photos of the pins. So if you guys want to take a closer look at those, there's one that features the Paradise Falls Money Jar. There's a 3-pin mini jumbo set, one featuring Russell and Doug. There's a Kevin pin. The Up Jumbo House, which is my absolute favorite. It's a hinge pin with the house on the front. You open it up and you see Carl and Ellie sitting on their chairs on the inside. Super nice pin. There is a My New Adventure Book 6-pin set. That one is limited edition of 500. And then there's also the Up Character Connection pin set that is LE 1100 with LE 600 chaser pins. And then there, of course, are 2 exclusive pin trading night pins for the event. These debuted at the February event. They are back for May, but this one is themed to Lady and the Tramp and Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Both of those are LE 1000 with a retail price of $17.99. So I think I answered everyone who had a question on RSP in this event, but if you guys have any questions, let me know on the website or on the YouTube video, and I'll try to answer. Basically, if you sign up for this event and you are interested in getting these Up pins, you just have to fill out the RSP, which is a random selection process. You fill out which pins you want, and then once Disney does their random selection, they'll let you know which ones you are selected to purchase, and they'll charge your credit card. So only put down the pins that you want to buy. And I know some people didn't get in to the Disneyland one, and they're asking about the Up pins as well. These should be released sometime in May, I'm assuming, after the pin trading night. They're just released there first, and then the remaining pins get distributed to the parks, both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. That's exactly what happened with the Sleeping Beauty 60th Anniversary Collection back in February. That released first at pin trading night, and then later, like a week or two later, it was released in the parks. I think the pin trading exclusive pins are only available at the events, and those are LE1000, and I think they're split between both coasts. So I know there was a Lion King one last event that sold out there. So I'm pretty sure those ones definitely sell out, the logo event pins. So yeah, lots of pin news this week. I knew there was going to be a lot coming from all of the parks around the world. And it's exciting to see another pin trading night coming. I love these events, and I'm really hoping that the fairy tale pins will be on preview at the May pin trading night at Walt Disney World. So yeah, I think that's going to do it, guys, for the pin news this week. Thank you very much for listening and watching to episode 164 of the DPB podcast, and I do think we're going to be seeing and hearing more details on the Fairy Tales event this week. So stay tuned. As soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. Have a great week, everyone. See ya.